Good morning. All right. All right. Still getting warmed up here. A little stretch. So, where are we going today? Today, I would like to touch up this. I was trying to kill the threads, right? Spawning a thread and then shooting it from afar, because I didn't want to spend the time to shut it down correctly. However, that just kills the tests in bad ways. So, let's fix that up real quick. That is in, oh goodness, where? Reverb VFS. Ah, yes. I think if we come down here, oh, let's check the text size real quick. That's on the other screen. There we go. There, out there. Part of a new test context is that we create a thread somewhere. FIFO, mutation. Okay, we have our settings. Here we go. We create this thread, and we have to in order to read from the FIFO. Now, really, all we need here is, is for this to pull this file occasionally, right? It doesn't have to sit there and just wait on it. It could be that maybe we only attempt to read for so long, and then we check some sort of global, maybe atomic bool, shut down, and continue on. Now we're not using Tokyo here, right? So no select on disparate types of things, futures, right? So let's see, what do we have here instead of FIFO read? Do we, where's like a try read or no? I don't want that. FIFO is a file. Let's look at the docs real quick. I have some traits. We time out a read here. Hmm, it's not quite right. Let's add duration instead. Hmm. Let's replace file with socket or just read duration. Duration and time. Nope, that's not going to help. What is there a read ext? No, because this this is standard. There's file ext. Specifics for Unix. File type ext. Okay, just not for file. Perhaps what we do is we just do a read. It'll tell us how much it read, which will be 0, like always. Then we just have a sleep, check, and read again. I didn't realize that SQLite had a sleep. Something small. Okay. Oh, I forgot to start the music today. I don't know. It's gone. Okay. Save this and drop. We will set that. We're not returning a result now. Do we need to store FIFO worker? I don't think we do. There we go. All right. Yeah, do we have to wrap this in an arc? I think we might. Huh. Okay. Let's try again. Hopefully the tests pass. Or rather, it doesn't crash. Nice. That was only wall is supported. Yep. All right. Okay. So we have sqlite. Now we need to go over into, where's this going to be? Main DB. At this point here, we're attempting to make a write to a specific place in the database. We don't really care what the amount is as long as it's greater than the header size and it starts at the offset of 0. So if the offset's 0 and the amount is greater than or equal to 100, then say then we will load up some of that data. See, and how should we do that? We could get a slice. A slice is going to be equal to, now the only data we care about, I don't care if the amount is 4K, 10K, 100K. I just want those first 100 bytes. Maybe we should make that a constant. Let's do that. SQLite format lib main DB const header size. I mean, it's 100 bytes. We could put that in anything. Um, this one, that one stays normal. Okay. Main DB SQLite format. There we go. Do we have to worry about page sizes here? We don't. So max page size is 64K. So casting it to use size, I believe, is okay here. I guess it might be safer to go the other way, though. Use size is U32. So use size is the pointer size. Everything I intend to run this on. So decent size value. It's at least 4 bytes, use size. Maybe we just change this. Now that means that we have to cast in certain places like this because it's the size of a pointer, right? It's what it's expecting. It's really where we interact with SQLite that it's the issue. I think this casting is always fine because we know this is 100 bytes or something small. So it'll fit into whatever. Now, at this point, we want to take a. Oh, goodness. I left my gloves inside. Standard slice from raw parts. Our data is arg. Our length is header size. Let's do this. Maybe be header size. Oh, I haven't told it what sort of slices we want. So let's say main DB, file header, new, slice. Now this is not quite a slice. Well, this is a slice, the other is an array. Array from reference. Really? All right. So at this point, we have our file header. We want to know the file format version and these two here. Now, I don't quite like the way that this came out. I'm just returning the U8, but these values actually mean something, and we have the opportunity to convert that to, let's say, an enum here. Right? So let's do that. There are two values. There's, or at least I think there were only two values. One for legacy, two for wall. What is legacy? Is that the journal mode? Um, or what do they call that other journal mode? Rollback. Okay, rollback journaling or wall. There we go. here and here. Okay. Let's convert those. U8 here. Let's just say this is unreachable. Sometimes I use panic where I should be using unreachable here. Like this. It's actually unreachable unless the spec changes and this has not been updated. Okay. Um, there's a little assert there. We can do this in a different way now. We'll have bar from value and return that. Done. Declared type of foobar. Oh, because I put it outside the module. Okay, let's take that. Put it at not that quite, not quite that far. There. It's far enough. And I want to call it though. File format version. See, the read and the write are important here. Let's just call it read write version. Okay. Now that that has been updated, let's go back to main.db and we can ensure that the read version these should always be the same. Yeah, we can add that. And then at this point, we want to return an error if it cannot read or write this thing. So first, well, actually, if we're rejecting it, it can read and write both. However, we only want to read wall logs. Okay. Let's if Doesn't matter at this point. They're both equal. Read version is not equal to main DB. Read write version wall. If it's not that, we'll return an error. SQLite. What was it? Internal? SQLite 3. Something. Let's just do that. And since we can't actually explain to anybody what this really is, we'll be fine. We'll just log loudly. Actually, I want to do log error. Now at this point, we want what, the file name? That would be nice. Justice, how are you? Attempting to write a non-wall DB. And file. Where did that come from? Um, Default VFS. I want. Basically, I want reverb file. I want to get the state file dot. No, not wall state. I want main DB state, something like that. Where did wall state come from? Ah, we didn't give one of these back. I can tolerate algebra, maybe even calculus, but geometry is where I draw the line. I almost say cross. Goodness, I gotta work on my jokes. Joke telling. That's a good one. I have been torturing the youth with these, so thank you, Museum. Let's see, where is. I have a OneNote that I use for these. Create a new bullet. There it goes. There's a new bullet. All right. I'll cancel that. Boo. Okay. Sorry. It's trying to copy out of OneNote, and it always tries to drop an image into Discord. No idea why. Debug here is logging. Yeah. OneNote. Yeah. Well, I'm a ex Microsoft employee, so And let me someone know. All right, so I would like to have basically this, but for the other types as well. So main DB should always just ask for its type. We could put these into something, but then the other thing has to do the panicking. Oh, that one's great, Museum. Ah, justice. Okay, so in every other crate that we have, we do logging using the tracing crate. In this crate, in VFS, we actually use FlexiLogger. Now, the reason for that is this here has this crate is the VFS. It's Virtual File System plugin for SQLite, and there's really no point in using tracing in it. So logging is the best we can do for that. Yeah. Tracing would just be so much overhead and it would just bloat the binary. Let's see, what do we want here? MDB state. MDB, there we go. In one of your projects, you put the tracing support behind a feature flag for that reason. Yeah. Yep. Makes total sense. Yeah. Most of my other crates actually use Buyer, which is an opinionated, shallower wrapper around a bunch of crates, and it does a bunch of stuff for you. So, yeah, Cogent, yeah, which is bloated so much. And the size of this is already larger than maybe SQLite is. You just like to use the crates manually? Oh, absolutely. That's a great way to go. We actually made the buyer crate. Um, we had been using the one from Cloudflare Foundation or Foundations, but a bunch of the crates that they chose didn't really fit in the ecosystem we were using. So we ended up making one that was inspired, um, heavily inspired. Because it is nice to just be able to bootstrap a project and get logging, command line parsing, everything just right out the bat. And everything in our suite of tools here works the same way, which is really nice. The consistency is magic. Hey, Togglebit, how you doing? Raid and run? All right, mate. Well, thank you for the raid. You had a long stream today, man. All right, everyone. Well, welcome. And we are working on the epic journey of building my wife a website. So let me kind of give you kind of the rundown where we are. Okay. So this is our architecture, right? This is not a single program. This is many, many programs. We have a, so in order, what us programmers must do for our wife. Oh, just wait, Torque. Now, so I need to build a website for my wife, but how does a programmer do that, right? The first thing I need is I want to be able to run it on the cheap, right? Not because I don't love my wife, but because, I would rather take her out to dinner and, have the other, spare dollars spent on her. So I want to run this as light and cheap as I can. I also want it to be a global presence, right? This thing's going to be massive. So how do we do that? We use a very, very lightweight database, right? We'll have SQLite running on the servers. But in order to make SQLite work globally, we're going to replicate the data from one place to the other. So we need a proxy to be able to send the mutations to a machine that will mutate the database. That database mutation would then get sent across our data plane through data archive, which would then replicate the data to the other machines running around the globe, the readers. Okay. Now, the readers, you could fire a new one up. It would pull up all the relative databases from the data archive, which would store the data inside of a TIKV cluster and then stream all the mutations from Iggy via data archive. Okay. So this is what we're working on. World domination machine. Absolutely. Now, the part of code that you'll be seeing today is actually the VFS. It's the virtual file system plugin for SQLite. Does the website have anything to do with a new rewrite of SQLX? We are not actually rewriting SQLX. We are using SQLite, right, which is a tiny database system. And we are simply building a plugin for it so that we can see when mutations happen and replicate them around the world. Please feel free to ask questions on this stuff. I'm happy to dig into it. And this is the, many different versions of the architecture. We've currently gotten, say, the proxies built, data plane on this side. A lot of that functionality is there. I'd say 80 to 90%. We've got our little stupid notes app that we're using as our fake app at the moment. A data archive. I'd say the half on the right side feeding the readers is mostly there. The writer side needs some work. And we're currently working on basically the mutation side of the VFS, producing to the data plane, and then here we currently have signals going to the data plane, and it knows how to pick up the data. And then the data plane still needs to be able to send data to data archive. Off topic, but please tell me you narrate audiobooks. I don't. This is my drive-through voice. I just, if you come to the right drive-through, you might hear this. Actually, when I was 16, I worked drive-through. Yeah, welcome. All right, now Musean has preloaded us with a bunch of dad jokes. What diagram software is this? This is called MonoDraw. And the other thing you might find on this stream is, dare I say, dad jokes. I hate spelling errors. I mix up two letters, and my comment is urine. I was trying to buy a piano from the Pacific Northwest, but I couldn't find one. Everyone prefers the Oregon. Oh, it's mad. Uh, I I used to go to the roller rink on Tuesdays between 2 and 4 because it was half off. I guess I was a really cheapskate. Yeah, this software is Mac only, unfortunately, but I really like it. The jokes are getting kind of ridiculous. Oh, just you wait. Just you wait. Yeah. All right. Let's get going. And, you know, shout out to my fingers. I can count on them. Boom. Yeah, MonoDraw app. So what's the wife going to host on her world domination machine? I think it's going to be kind of a sewing blog. You lost all of your. Oh, here, I'll read it in person. I lost all of my money while playing poker with a group of cats. Maybe I'm just bitter, but I think some of them were cheetahs. Didn't. All right. So at the moment, our system only supports one of the two journaling systems. There's two journaling systems in SQLite. One is rollback, the other is the write ahead log. And thank you for the follows. Let's see, Edson. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but is it Torque? Are there already bindings for the SQLite stuff you're using, or am I writing them as well? I am using uh, SQLite bind. Actually, I'm using BindGen. Um, that's a good question. It's in the yeah. I'm using BindGen. Torque, super fine. Well, thank you. Yeah, in order to do the VFS, um, I had to do this. There wasn't anything already available. But this was actually fairly simple. Let's see. Raft. It's basically just this. Yeah. Yeah. It's the same thing. Yep. And that goes into our EXT. What is it? VFS. Source. Somewhere. It's being hidden because I don't check it in. All right. So in this case, this needs to be part of the trait. Let's add that. Wall state, main DB state. So come back into main DB and let's get a main DB state. There we go. And we should have the file name in here. But we don't. Huh. What do we have here then? Yes. It's fairly thin. Doesn't it have a fix to add the method to the trait? I don't know. Let's see. Pretty sure it does. Oh, okay. Did I fix that weird maybe not to referencing pointer for underlying file? I did. I think. Depends on which one we're talking about. Oh, the one where the application just stopped and we had all the logging. Yeah. Yeah, that one's been built. It was because a portion of the structure wasn't properly initialized yet. Yes. Yes, that one. Oh yeah, I heavily use a lot of um, those fixits. Now, sometimes they don't always appear in non-Visual Studio editors, though, so I don't get all of them, but I think I get most of them. All right, I think we want these as well. I'm going to duplicate code here, so it's okay. The cringe is fine. Oh, wrong place. No, main DB. Hmm. Where's main DB state? Oh, it's in file. Whatever. Okay. Take these because we need I think we get the underlying file. We just want that as well. I'm just going to grab that. So we have underlying file. We want this. Ah, fingers, come on. Stop hating me today. Now on that, now on that. Save this. Technically, LSP Vim and Helix could support them, but they are preferred, or they are per language custom stuff. Quick hold on to those. And now we can get the file name. I'm just going to grab these guys here. All right, let's go back to where we were logging. I feel like I lost a week doing some of the unit tests for this. It'll be good later, but it does make me feel as though I'm behind. File name. Okay. Import that. So we need that. I'm not using strings for file names and stuff. Uh, it's okay. It's mainly because it makes the logging easier. That and SQLite guarantees that they're UTF-8. So we need debug and equal. Oh, this here is just. Why does that need to be mutable? Hmm. Because occasionally we mutate the data there. Okay. Let's fix this. Debug. Partial EQ. EQ. Okay. There we go. So we should get this internal error for our test if we attempt to write the header of a database and it is not a wall log. Okay. So we now pass the header data and so forth. And Yu, thank you for the follow. Okay. Let's go back to our test, which is in this file. What do you call a struggling seabird? I don't know. I don't know what. A pelicant. Ah, I love it. Now, in this case, we are expecting an error. Okay, it should fail. The error isn't can't open. This is going to be internal malfunction. Let's see. Only wall is supported. Oh, there's an error. Hold on. Ah, yes. And we have to pass the file name in. Really? Okay, that is zname. And what else here? Okay, no, same error. It's looking better. Autocorrect made you say things you didn't intend to. Oh, that one's a little rough. All right, so this should get us to the point where we'll see this even if this even works right. I have some suspicions that sometimes SQLite, when it creates a file, it later converts it to a wall log. So I'm a little concerned that maybe some of my files will get generated as, let's say, the regular journaling mode and then get converted to the other type. Let's say failed. Why? Ah, look at that. Thread blah panicked. Oh, open should fail. Fascinating. Was it outside of the database directory though? Oh, no, that's my fault. Let's see. Expect error. Should fail due to mm, let's see. Wall log only. Also, crates.io finally fixed their API responses to use RFC 3339 dates the other day. They've been using Chronos, not really RFC 3339 for like 10 years. Oh, wow. All right. So, why did this? What happened here? Let's see, I can shrink that a little bit. So, our FIFO path, we can see the directory, the temp directory. So, everything is going to need to be created in this directory. And it looks like happy was attempted to get created in that directory. So, exfil path name was created. FKMB, FK TC0J. Okay, that looks the same. At result 12. Is that file not found? Those are error codes 12. Not found. Okay. Huh. So our so we actually got a non-error. That's expected. Oh goodness, that is expected. I think. Hold on. Is that expected? Yes, because we didn't try to write, did we? We only did a read. And 522 is a short read. So basically it's saying, hey, there's no data here. Okay. Yep. It's because we didn't write. And currently we're only blocking the writes. So we need to check the reads. Um, and actually, fascinating. Yeah, no write happened to the file. Right. So I think our test is wrong. Connection. Okay. And then we'll just cause some sort of mutation. Goodness, I don't know. Let's create something. I have some test utils. Test something. What's it called? Test utils. Or are they not imported here? DFS, cargo.toml, dev dependencies. Okay. There we go. We'll create a test database. We give it a connection. Oops. At path. No, we don't want to give it the path. We already have the path. Con seed. I don't know. Some random seed. Row count. How many rows do we want inserted? Not 37. Let's do like one. How many random words do we want? Five. 5 words. Don't spend very much time on this. Okay, so maybe here it'll blow up. And I find error in that scope, that's fine. Let error equals that and expect error. I need to ensure that this create test database isn't doing this converting it into wall log or anything. Hey Giselle, how are you? Ever have your wait? Have you ever used cargo mutants? I'm not sure what that is. No. Oh, Giselle, thank you. This is Challenger Deep. Yeah. So with Challenger Deep, they actually have a nice little website. Um, Here, I'm always trying to pitch Challenger Light. It's cool. I just love the color theme. Oh, interesting. Cargo Mutants basically changes small things randomly in your code and checks that your tests catch that. Oh goodness, I wonder how that would work if you're doing a lot of FFI stuff. Like certain FFI bits, you well, I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. Yeah, let's get back to the code. It sounds interesting though. Okay, so we create the table, insert some random stuff into it. Yeah, but what kind of error are we getting back here? Oh, we're boxing it. Why are we boxing it? Oh, because there's SQLite errors. Oh, no, these are valid. Yeah, this is also from Rusculite. Hmm. Yeah, things get boxed elsewhere. Why am I changing that? For example, it swaps conditions around, replaces return values with just default and a lot more. Huh. It's a different start point for the same idea. It's a way better metric than just test coverage. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. Well, okay. So I really do want the other error here. Are these the same error? It's all Rusky Light. Let's just give that error back. Great testing. Okay, this is okay. And that broke nothing else. Oh, whenever you do set up a fuzzer, you'll be able to do two different modes: mutation versus generation. Got it. That's very interesting. I had never really heard of that before. Do they have that for other languages, Go, Ruby, stuff like that? Oh, all right. Okay, so at the moment we've gotten our test DB created. Let's see if this will catch at this point. Okay, we don't know if it'll catch. I'm just not sure. I think, which is why we'll see the logging. Um, I'm gonna pour some tea real quick. Combine them both. Do them at the same time. Ruby, probably. Hmm. That could be interesting. LLVM uses mutation testing in their fuzzer library. Wow. All right. Well, then before we get too far into this, okay. Oh, and the test passed. Great. Oh, that's really great. Um, Error. Oh no. Attempting to create a non-wall DB. Beautiful. It gives us the file name. I love it. You can use it with cargo fuzz. Also, Hong Fuzz supports it. Really? Huh. Yeah, I know it's not a library. I just like to start here. Inject bugs and see if your test catch them. Right clicking on that didn't work. Mutation testing tool. Oh, I love FreeBSD. You know I love FreeBSD. It's been doing this for 20 years. That's so funny. As you mentioned about that paper when they were designing ZIO fault injection, it's the same idea. Let's see. Getting started. Prerequisites. Okay. Yep. Oh, I hate flaky tests. Man, I go out of my way to not have flaky tests. Huh. Oh, ZIO is what ZFS uses for IO. Yeah. I mean, people lose so much time on flaky tests. My favorites are the ones that only happen on um, on days where you're um, when daylight savings changes. You don't think mutate? Well, I was thinking some of the other applications, right? Like I've got a bunch of tests elsewhere. Yeah, I mean, for the VFS, goodness, I wouldn't even know how to interpret the results, right? Like, hey, we butchered a pointer. Good luck, right? Like, no. There were certain assumptions made here. Um, I guess I'm kind of curious. Like, what does it do for unsafe code? Is there are some yeah assumptions made and guarantees that the coder is doing for our VFS. Yeah, you can skip untestable code. Okay. All right. Well, let's move this up near the top here. We've got our. Oh, actually, yes, we were looking at this here. We'll add that to our cautions. Maintain frequent remote backups. Section 5, untestable code. Yeah, we have some fairly high level integration tests as well. Hmm. Okay, well, thank you. Yeah, we'll take a look. Not today, though. Not today. That's a future me problem or adventure, if you will. And Dizelle, thank you for the follow. Okay, so our test passed, which is great. Now, actually, I want something else as well. I need a SQLite database that exists in rollback mode. Like if somebody were to upload a database to our platform and it was not in wall mode and then it was read, right? Because right now we're just stopping the creation of them, but maybe it's part of a distributable or something. I don't know. The third bullet point is it? I didn't get that far down. It was in my function as side effects or permanent or performance characteristics that are hard to test. Yeah, yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, how do you test what sqlite is going to do when I change a pointer to null? Not sure. We'll swap fields in a my struct void. That would just blow things up, right? Like memory layout is important for the VFS. Yeah. All right. Coming back here. This is good. Um, let's how do I do that? Let's change the comment. Ensure that a new database in rollback mode cannot be created. Okay, good. And we should do the same thing for saying that it cannot be read. However, at this point, I don't know how to bypass the VFS. Maybe we do. See, part of the test context creation is that we load the VFS. Maybe I have to separate that out. See, here we initialize the VFS, and that sets it as the default. So everything after the fact, we'll get it. I wonder if there's a open without using the default. I don't know. That just sounds weird. Did I know that signed wrapping in C is actually unbound? I didn't. How is it unbound? Should see some of the defined unbound in C++ for the case. It lets the compiler do dumb things faster. Right. Oh, yeah, I know what UB is. Um, but I'm just curious. Doesn't it just roll over in C? And not per spec. Interesting. Huh. Back when I was doing C forever ago, see, I did C for 5 years, but I don't think any of the projects I worked on ever got close to rolling over. Or some tea. It's tea time. This might just optimize away, for example, on assert completely if it's a sign type. Oh, I didn't know that. It's interesting. GCC has a concept of strict overflow semantics. The CI I was writing had to run on 7 operating systems. So I think it was Solaris, a bunch of Linuxes, BSDs, maybe a toaster. I don't remember. All right. So we could split this out, the initialization of the VFS, and do that later. I think we might have to. Will this break anything? No. Okay. Well, it'll break our other test. We'll have to tell it to load the VFS. Or we just have like a new that does like with and without the VFS. C23 fixes it. Huh. Yep, I remember you mentioning that. And closer year to Rust year by year. All right, let's new without VFS, then function new self. I don't want to be forced to load VFS on every test. I want to be explicit when I'm not doing it. What was it? Init VFS. Oh, it's just init VFS. It's not even. Okay. Uh, it's more of a global thing. Okay. And then here we don't do that. But we should make it available. Yeah, because it doesn't need to know anything off of there. Okay. It's silly, but I think it'd be a little bit more ergonomic to have it on this. There we go. Okay. It says two's complement wrapping in release mode, but panics in debug mode. I think I knew that. Well, not the two's complement piece, but the panicking. At this point, you just need to use a builder. Using a type state pattern for your test. Yes. Type state pattern is just so much more code. Like you have to be willing to hop in. That and I don't know, some of this, like we're skating the line between getting it good enough to have test coverage that'll work, right, and catch bugs. And like I just need to be able to spend the time where it really matters. And sometimes, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Void58, thank you for the follow. Monocrash 1, thank you. And Towns, T-I-U, how do you pronounce that? Towns? Thank you for the follow. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but thank you. So, let's say we move this one up first, or we just have a different test. Yeah. And only create all DBs. And let's do another one. Can only read all DBs. I don't know, right here. Test context, new without VFS. Right. So basically here we do a very similar setup, right? We create a database. Journaling mode. That's the default. Let's see, here we're saying open path. Do they have like a create? No, just an open. Open with flags. Maybe we could do that. Let's see. Oh, I got it right the first time. I think I had pronounced towns. All right. And please, anybody, if I ever mispronounce it, just feel free to correct me on that. Okay. Open flags. No. I think these are the wrong things. Because this doesn't control the mode, the journaling mode. Okay. So now let's go back. Just open dot. I don't remember how we set the journaling mode. Goodness, so even in this case, oh, this is just a test. Okay, we haven't even set it up yet. Okay, that makes me feel more comfortable. Feel free to butcher the name you're used to. Oh no, no, names are important. Your name is Museum. Oh, museum. Yes. So I think this is the first test we have in VFS that actually cares about journaling mode. So in this case, it's going to open by default in non-journaling mode. We create it, and then we'll just drop it. I want that like so. So we move this outside. There we go. Now we want to open it again, but this time we want to bail on the read. And it'll fail because we haven't protected that code yet. All right. Now, will we get an error here? No, because we have not loaded the VFS. Okay, which means we unwrap. Done. Now, let's open it again. Expect error. Um, should not be able to read a default journal. Let's see. Let's be explicit here. Can we do this at open or can we do this at read time? I think we might be able to do it at open time. We'll have to see. Now, let's test just this. Let's get our test set up, do some TDD. All right. Should not be able to read. Perfect. Okay. Oh, we didn't get any logging. Fascinating. Why didn't we get any logging? Because we didn't initialize the VFS. tc dot init VFS. There we go. Make sure we're set up correctly here. Perfect. We got our logging. We're going to open happy. It ends up reading. You can see it reads 100 bytes at offset 0. It read the header of the database. So we should be able to bail at open time because of the read. We might be able to go ahead of the read, but I think I might just lean on this read here as opposed to doing a read elsewhere. I would like to be inline as opposed to causing a read elsewhere. It's good. It's going to be very similar to the right. Back to main DB. Do I know bacon? You really like to use it for when you wanted to do TDD or just have Clippy open in a terminal and stuff? What is bacon? I don't know bacon, to answer your question. Did I spell that right? It looks like I spelled it right. Background Rust compiler. Thank you. Background code checker. Ah, no worries. Amazing. Isn't this very similar to CSS or CCS? At the moment, I don't think I would use Bacon or CCS simply because I need to actually look through and see what SQLite's doing. Um, but for other things, yeah, I like to use CCS. Yeah, the percent %e thing is nice. I do like that too. What is that? That's yeah. Okay. An eyelash. Okay. Um, Going back to read. Okay. Looking at bacon, I like the output of CCS better. Just gonna say it because usually when I'm in something like this, is it? Can I split this? Normally, I'll split one of these. Here we go. Split right, and I will only give it about EA much space. So CCS is perfect for that, and I really like that if I'm in that mode. Because I mean, hitting percent, or was it shifty percent E? It takes no, come on, space D percent E S. It's a lot of typing. Yeah. Quick question, Statty, how you doing? Happy Thursday. I have a question. Do you think you can get a full-time job by self-study of code? Yes. Yes, I do. Absolutely. Um, so it's probably no surprise to Musean and some of the others, but I'm mostly self-taught. So um, I started programming when I was really young, and really only had one college professor that I really liked. Ended up starting a couple businesses. My last business, which I started with a buddy from high school, uh, is now, I think they call it serb.ai. You're also self taught for the most part, right? You see, you're brilliant. Um, excuse me. Um, this has been going for 20 years now, 23 years. But we spent, goodness, 5 years working on this, building this company. And I left this company to go work on Yahoo Messenger as a C++ developer. So, yeah. What do I recommend? You only got your CS masters after you'd been in the industry for 8+ years. See, I've always told myself that if I went back, I would go back for business, right? Early uni, yep, teaching yourself anything. Dropped out of your math degree to get a real job. Yeah. And part of my stream is actually me just studying, right? I love to hang out with y'all, but it's like almost every stream will find something new in Rust, new in coding, right? Like the little bit about the rollovers in C not or being unbound. Right? I didn't know that, and now I do. That little tidbit's gonna stick with me. But this thing here, when I left this to go work at Yahoo, my business partner continued to run this, and goodness, they're doing great. I remember learning how to talk to people because of starting this company. It's one of those things where when you need to make a sale in order to buy groceries for your family, man, that's a motivator. So you guys remember Barnes and Noble? Okay. Is Barnes and Noble still around? No. Okay, so it is still around. So I used to go into the local bookstore, happened to be a Barnes and Noble, all right, and I would go sit in the programming section, pick up a book, look around, read the book, right? And somebody would come in, they'd pick up a book. I knew that I needed to be able to communicate better because I needed to talk to people to make sales. I need to be good at just random chit chat, all that. So when somebody would come in and they'd pick up a book and they'd be like, hey, you could tell that they were kind of into the book, you know, waiting for a moment, kind of read the room. I'd say, hey, is that a good book? Right? And just strike up a conversation and learn to talk to people. Man, I was such an introvert, such an introvert. And here I am talking to 42 random people on the internet, more or less random, right? I know a bunch of you have been with me for goodness 4 years, but just I wanted to change, and I wanted to be able to sell things that I wrote, that I made. I wanted my own business, and so yeah, talking to people. It's been longer than 4 years, by the way. It's 2025. When did I start streaming? Selenium. It was September of some year. Mr. Halsey. Okay. I want to do like all time. Been watched for over 1.4 thousand hours with an average. Okay, that's okay. I don't get that. Um, because it's more than that. Um, maybe that's in this time region, which is fine. Oh, created. Here we go. November 15th. 24. Wait. Oh, that's when I created my Twitch account. That's not really when I started streaming. Yeah, it was before COVID. Let's see. Oh, no, no. It was right there. September 2019. Wow. Oh, yeah. I remember it being in September. For lockdowns, yeah. Um, that was a very long answer. I hope that helps. Cargo mutants. Put that up here too. Okay. Coming back to the code. All right. So let's look at read. What are we doing for read? Now in this case, we want the underlying read to work. Right? We need some. Oh, interesting. What are we going to do with the underlying reads data? Because you're expected to read this much data. Oh, sorry, this much data, and stuff it into a buffer, presumably that you allocate. Hold on, let's check that out. Are you provided a buffer? Yeah, I haven't. SQLite. I want to look at the OS interface. Read. It returns short error on short reads. Sounds like you're handed a buffer. Documentation. Just want to see memory map.io. Yep, that's what we were looking at before. Okay. Do you have like a platform you can use? You tried a bit on Code Academy, but you don't think it's detailed enough, like the basic. Um, it's like they expect you to know basic stuff. I actually saw something the other day. I think it came up on my phone this morning. Let me see if I still have it. It was on it was like a $15 Udemy thing. Now, I've heard good things about this. I've never done this. Okay. Um, now it is Rust. It's $16 at the moment, and it goes on sale all the time. So if you don't get it today, don't worry. Right, it'll go on sale again. Um, but I've heard good things about this. The last person that mentioned it said that they had gone through it and it did teach some basic things. But check out the description. Um, I mean, it does say Rust programmers for beginners. I was thinking of checking this out for my kids because, of course, I'm that dad, right? Like, I just want to draw ponies forever. Well, let's learn Rust today, right? Um, yep. And as Justice says, right? Pick a project, and that's what I'm doing here. Literally, that's exactly what I'm doing. My projects have slowly gotten bigger. Um, Actually, I don't know if they've actually gotten bigger or smaller. What was my first project? Game server, uh, MMO game server. And Rust is really well documented. But yeah, it does not teach you things like what is a variable, right? It presumes some basic knowledge. What is a variable in Rust, really? Oh, I'm using. Uh, it might not even be a pointer to memory. It might not even be a pointer. It okay. First off, Monica London, calculators are hard as anything else to build. Like a proper calculator is insane. However, it can be a lot of fun. Let's just say that. Yeah. Oh, just command line test based. Yes, yes. Okay. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, sometimes like I don't know if you're okay, we're getting a little off topic here. I'm gonna reel myself back in. Stay on target, stay on target. All right. I've got 1 hour to make this test. And, so here we go. So the buffer is pre-allocated for us. We don't have to worry about that. It's getting filled in. If it's a short read, that is notified by the return code. So, so if it's a short read, what do we do? See, here, let's look at this again. If it returns this, it must also fill in the unread portions of the buffer with zeros. Failure. Man, is that how they're determining whether or not, like where it filled? Because they can only return an error code. Oh, that's so gross. I guess you could just start from the right and keep going backwards until you find a non-zero value, and then you can presume that's where it read till. I mean, you might go too far, but that's probably okay. Oh, you're discouraged in your projects. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, interfacing with humans is hard. Stir find or stir find. Is that still a thing? Stir or find? No. Okay. Well, let's do the basics. If I offset, I'm going to presume that they always want to read the full header, always together. Oh, stir R, stir and C. Thank you. Because they are glorious at naming functions. Yeah. Man, I used to use this stuff all the time. If offset is equal to 0 and I amount is greater than or equal to, let's see, we were doing main DB header size. Hmm. I'm concerned about the short read. Do I need to be concerned with the short read or just be concerned with the common case? Stir, stir. A whole 6 character legacy of C lasting for 70 years. Yeah, stir, stir. 50, not 70. Okay. But the history predates C for a bit. Really? Uh, I'm interested. Okay. Header size as. Okay. Now, in this case, yeah, I don't know that I really wanted. Actually, if we get a short read and the value's either 0 for what we're going to check, or it's set to something, so it doesn't matter. Okay. Because even if there's a short read, what we're going to look for is technically going to panic. Because, okay, maybe we don't want to do that. Um, okay. The design of how the original C Unix parser goes back to how the PDP-7 worked. Yeah. And I'm making sure that I cast to the smaller of the types. So this in this case is safe. See, seeing being the dominant language for Unix, Sesame Unix being the big boy for OS enterprises. Hmm. I'm kidding, cast isn't that safe? Hmm. All right. So, what would one use here? An into? Yeah, you don't have enough data here. Can go to use size 2i32 safely. Here use try into and check it. See, actually, I wouldn't because I know that header size will always fit into a U32 or an I32. A header size will never be that large. Use 16 for the header size. See, that breaks these here. Because in this case, can we do this? Yeah, in this case, it's const, right? As you says explicitly. Because I think on all systems, usize will be a fine conversion. Let's say this playlist is. This is actually Pretzel Rocks, and I'm playing the Chill Guitars channel. Oh, all right. Let's come back here. No other errors. I'm surprised. You can do one U16 as use size in a const context. Oh, nice. All right. Oh, you're welcome, Flints. Also nitpick, but I32 from Val is usually superior to Val that into. Right, you can't accidentally change it from the distance. That makes sense. I have gotten lazy. I think that's what we're seeing here. But you're absolutely right. Dot into is so easy, right? Oh, it can convert into from. I want to try that. Oh wow. Huh. Fascinating. Okay, got it pretty good. Huh. Oh, Justin, I'd be interested. Because I really like the suggestions here and the safety concerns. Um, but yeah, if you want to share, I'd probably adopt some of those Clippy configs. I wonder if there are Clippy like these into conversions for numeric types too. I would like to get good at best practices, right? I think that'd be useful. Oh wow. Yeah, a lot of as conversions. All right, let me toss this up here in my list. Okay. Well, thank you. And just a peek, if you don't mind. Evolutionary computation tools. Ooh, that sounds fun. Hmm. All right. But here we are. We've got 45 minutes. We've written a line of code. But it's a good line. It really is a good line. Now, your readme needs a lot of work. It's all right. So in this case, I'm just going to grab some code goodness from here. It'll be something like this. Okay. Now this here. Okay. Use cast there as use size. Okay, let's save. So we have our slice. We're getting our header. Now, I actually don't want. Okay, yes, I only want that amount of data. We get file header. Unsigned truncation is generally what you'd want anyways. If you have a random use size and you're going to be and you're going to assign a number, you should probably think a little about it. That's fair. Unsigned truncation is generally what you'd want anyway. Sign though can cause problem. I've actually wanted to play around with stuff like this, right? Evolutionary computation. I think it'd be fun. Yeah, that's a lot of commits. Wow. Yeah, it'd be neat to see like some docs or a book or something. Yep, sign numbers have a bit pattern for negative, and it uses the concept of sign extension. Although used in a Unichorus by Nick McPhee. Um, well, here, let's give that a copy. I got, oh, it's just up here. No, no, no. Wait, did I close it? I did. My mistake. I didn't mean to close it. Nope, nope. Not closing it. Not closing it. Click away. Okay, there. Now it's safe. All right, that gives us the array. And here we have our read and write versions. Now, this conversion here is now possible. 0 self dot I don't know, unset, short read. What is a gleam stream? You missed the trying to fit Erlang concept into Rust stream. uh, yes, yes. Those streams, they do happen occasionally. It's a certain mood I get into. Gleam goes further by actually fitting Rust into Erlang. Yes, someday, someday. And maybe that's the better way to go. Sorry about the color change here. Um, there. It's so much better. So, all right. Anyhow, okay. Stand target, stand target. Um, this is only ever caused by a short read, and I don't want to panic because of it. Right? Say uninitialized. I'm just going to say short read. It's not able to read. Let's see. How many bytes does it have to get to? Fraction, where is it? Main DB. Oh goodness, if it can't read 20 bytes, bytes 18 and 19. Like this should just never happen. Oh, it does happen. This happens in the case of the file not existing. Gleam, Glean looks really cool. From should be a try from. Oh, this here. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're absolutely right. Because if it is a zero, then, oh, okay, now you're dead on. Because our scope changed here. Is it, yeah, try underscore from. Now we need an error. Here, let's just have it fill it in. Okay, that was anticlimactic there. There, other, okay, and then anything else should be just be unsupported. That from should be a transmute. Let's go that way. Then with the represent. I'm hmm, guys are torturing me here. What sort of error should we have here? We don't have. I don't have an error defined in this. Like, gotta create an error type. Error. We're gonna use snafu. Unsupported. Read write error. I'm not. Fine. Well, the whole reason I'm actually not passing the number back is because I want it to be typed. And if I use the byte try from, then I kind of leak the underlying implementation. So I'm going to make my own error type. Snafu display. Let's see. What do we have? Supported. Read or write version. Why not just using this error? Because this error isn't my current favorite. Snafu is my current favorite. Until my next favorite comes along. Actually, I've come to like Snafu quite a bit. I like the error, like being able to compose errors. It really helps when you have some sort of shared system that's used in multiple places to know exactly where the error came from. You're using a combination of this error and Miet in your projects. Rusty himself. mm, bad influence sometimes. sqlite format. Oh, we don't have any dependencies. Snafu workspace. There. Everything has that. There we go. Value, of course. Right. Oh, spaces. Doesn't like the spaces. This, oh, Eric itself isn't a bad influence. It's a legit pattern for parsing. Oh, so you can rollback slash branch on failure. Wait a sec. That's true. I'm expecting more errors, though. I am curious about, not in this specific conversion, in the rest of the file header parsing. So this will be for all of file header parsing. Um, NDB error. What? Mismatch types. Oh, yes, this. This is a oh, you know what? ERR. That and I forgot to return here. If you have more errors, generally, then do custom error types for each and maybe a a combination enum. Okay. Would be the recommended pattern to do that, at least by mu. For a file header parsing, I wouldn't even split up the try from leaky abstraction. Either use byte muck or just, well, the input might be junk. Byte muck, interesting. Oh, I'm not going to change it at this point. I need to make progress in certain places, and this isn't one of them. But feel free to send me the reference. I'll take a peek. Okay. Um, so now we have a try from. I don't know that I like this bubbling up though. Like, so in this case, main DB read. I want to look at the right version first. If the bytes don't match, 0 somewhere with checks and magic in the headers that you can soft assert for. Interesting. Byte muck, huh? Oh yeah, I'm just curious what it looks like. All right, let's take a peek. Error, crossover gene error. So if your error type, your output type, associated trait types here. Okay, crossover error. Right, so you're mapping your error to a specific crossover. I feel like we're doing something that's very similar. I mean, but yeah, you're right. This is very generic. Um, let's see. The main trait is pod from bymuck. You derive pod on your type, plain old data, which takes care of offset padding alignment for you. Nice. Historical note: when the create first started, the pod trait was used instead. So you may hear people refer to that, but it has the strongest requirements. People eventually wanted a more fine-grained system. So here we are. Now, in this case, we have the data. I'm just going to ignore the error because it's not possible. If we can't trust SQLite, who can we trust, right? But you got to know what pod is to know what those are. Write that message in. No, it'll never happen. And I don't know. It's just another 20 bytes into the binary, right? I mean, I'm validating that it'll never happen. So, I mean, until SQLite comes out with another version, which, goodness, it's just not going to happen anytime soon. I just unwrap checked. I've never used that. It's unsafe. Ooh, oh yeah. Just more unsafe. I'm curious what it is. The safety contract must be upheld by the caller. Huh. Fascinating. That seems really unsafe. Like there's not even a panic. Unreachable checked. Okay. It can lead to a lot of unbound. Okay. Well, eventually, when SQLite updates and this thing does get hit, then I'll know to update it. Okay. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. Um, Read version. Okay. We got that fixed. This was in the right portion. Now, the read portion needs the errors, right? These could be bad. Um, Also, why would they ever be different? Okay, first off, I need to know if they're errors or not. So maybe we do like a match here. Match. Read version. Let's do a tuple match. Do one of these. Fill match arms. Sure. We really care about only a couple of those. It's basically unbound as a function because it should never be called. That project you shared, we recently actually fully typed all of our errors. We actually discovered a bunch of places that the errors could never occur by using infallible. Oh, it could be replaced by. I could just replace unwraps with let OK. Yeah, hmm, that's cool. In most of this code here, we have very shallow stacks. SQLite will call us and we perform some operation that wraps some other code. Um, so what we end up doing is actually fairly fairly shallow. Never pattern binding is new, like 185. It's really neat. Yeah, I've not seen it. Or the never type is semi-stable with edition 20. Oh, are you targeting 2024? nightly. I, I gotta get this done. I got 20 minutes. Um, Thinking about the short write again. We could use that as a signal, the error type. Basically have two versions based on that, but I don't like that. I'd rather just do the slow version for everything. Okay, we're going to take that. We're going to pass these through. Read and write. Okay. Now for all of these, we'll do something else. Okay, we'll get to that. They must match. Yes. And in this case, fine. Make this mutable. Okay. So at this point, we know that it's a correct value. We're good with that here. Now, if there is ever an error, there or there, get rid of that. We can join these. Basically have this. Slow and low. That's the tempo. The Beastie Boys. I gotta focus. Loving the shadow though. So in this case, if result is equal to sqlite 3 short read, I have a short read here. If it's equal to that, and we have errors, I'm just gonna say, oh, this is probably due to that, and we just return it. Um, why though? It's 20 bytes. If it can't read 20 bytes off the beginning of a file, no, 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 because the file might be empty. Let's add a comment there. Oh, I remember Lysandale. Okay. So if this is the case, we'll just return result. Otherwise, so if it was not a short read, then we whine loudly. We will basically do this. File name is missing. Yes, we only want to do that work. Let's see, attempting to read that. And do I really care what the error is? I should. Let's bind this to error and this to error. And we will include error as well. Colon percent? What was it? I forget the syntax. There we go. Oh, new range types, huh? Yeah, time does fly. All right. So I've been doing this all over the place. I think that SQLite is actually using this I32 type as a unsigned type. They never have any unsigned values. There's nothing negative in here. At least nothing that I care about. Still not seeing anything. Um, equals space dash. No. No results. They never return -1. And so basically the conversion here for whatever reason is U32, right? The bindings are all U32 for the error types. However, SQLite expects a cint. Are you in the red or the black? What? Hey, Scott, I missed the reference. You would honestly create a Rust enum wrapper error around the SQLite errors. Am I guess I'm in the black? I don't know. Oh, no, no, okay. I get it. You got all those negative numbers for errors. Yeah, but we can't change this, right? This here is fixed. This is what SQLite's going to call, and the function interface has to look exactly like that. But you can see that like the underlying call ends up returning cint, which we have to cast or convert rather to some other format in order to do comparisons. And here, these two values that bindgen basically created for us, they could have at least one negative number for use for errors and they use positive errors for success codes, right? No. So I'm a bit at a loss as what to do with these casts, right? Because sure, right? Like we could say, oh, dot into, right? Like convert that into, actually, it didn't want to, like, this feels really weird to do. It is their SQLite error. Yeah, that's from bindgen. I don't know if bindgen got it wrong, but this is theirs. This is not mine. I did not make this giant list. Specify non-exhaustive enum for it with bindgen. If it's not close to 0, then you can just have bindgen make those types I32 instead of U32. Hmm. That might be a better way to go. And they won't be going negative anytime soon. Okay. This here, I'm gonna bounce back over to here, and for the moment, I'm gonna do this, which we talked about. Rustified enums and bindgen are pretty nice. Do you have a link? I'm curious how to set that up. Okay, but before we do, because I'm trying to get to a specific place with my tests, right? Focus on the target. Uh, is this correct? So if we get some weird error, we log the error, the file name. I don't like this. Let's see. Unknown. Um, read/write version. It makes a bunch of C enums into Rust enums. Oh, instead of a bunch of constants, that'd be fine too. I forget why I started using bindgen myself. I think I had first tried to use the sqlite bits, but there might have been something missing that I needed for the VFS. I forget what it was though. Okay. I think it might not have included, yeah, the ext header. Um, I think it was something like that. I don't remember. I don't want to say. Let me scan this. Okay, so header size. So if we're reading at position 0 for at least the header size, then we check the header. From our parts, header size, we get our slice, our read and write versions. Check for an error. Assert that they're equal. Fine. Um, oh, Rusculites. Bind gen uses. Okay, I might look at how they're doing that. Yeah, no, that's good. Then we ensure that it's write ahead log. Grab the file name. Whine loudly. Great. Okay. And our test. No, it's not in Gauntlet. It's in VFS. We initialize, we try to open, we expect an error, should not be able to read the rollback journal because we just created one, and expect that. Okay. Can only read wall DBs. You got a work meeting? Same here. I gotta wrap up soon. Well, thank you, Justice, for hanging out. It's been fun. Let's Well, that's cooking. Let's look at docs and res. SQLite repository. My gem bindings. Build. Oh, wait. They have a feature for loadable extension? Oh, look at that. Okay. Well, maybe I just use that. That would simplify things. They have features for all the SQLite 3 stuff. Hmm. I wonder, what does that enable, though? Loadable extension, generate functions, build. Okay. Oh, interesting. Where's interesting? There's generator res from a send quote combo. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna have to look at this again. However, let's see. And it worked. Attempting to create. Um, did I get the error message wrong? We're reading. Let me just grab that. I want to see how many places say this. Two. Okay. Attempting to open. I think that works. There's nothing stopping you from using sin and normal creates to generate Rust code, besides sanity. I saw something the other day. It drove me nuts. Okay, I think we hit our target. We got that test working. UI. Got a lot of to-dos though. Test utils. No, no, no. Skip all this. BFS. Added a bunch of stuff here. Okay, and test utils changed to touch. SQLite format. It also changed. Let's grab that. Remove VFS. It's more of a feature. Feet. Let's see. Something like Adam. Okay. Uh, signed, interesting. Macro type variant. Huh. So I saw something the other day. It was it was in some code written in the Golang. Crazy that basically generated code was able to determine that. So basically, there was an update to like this file, and the file had generated code in it, and you were expected to fill out the function bodies. Okay, and when you updated the inputs, the generated code would update the function definitions, but not the function bodies. It was crazy. More than Batman. Ah, Batman, Batman. You're right at the end of my stream here. But I should run. Oh, it ships with an ASTN parser. Wow. It opens up a whole bag of worms. I was surprised that I had to tell my editor to reload so often. Crazy. It's just crazy. All right. C sharp expression builder. Man. All right. Well, I will experiment with not well, thank you for this link, but I'm going to go check to see whether or not um I can just use libsqlite with a feature flag. So that might be the easiest of all these. So it would simplify things for me. But thank you for hanging out. It's a long stream. A cat woke me up early. 3 hours here. Okay. Yeah, I'll look at the docs. So I have some time tonight. I'll check it out. Let's get a raid going. Let's see, is anybody doing Rust out there? Just, you use it to make your test VFS, and it had everything. Oh, nice. Okay. No, that I mean that I'm willing to make a bunch of changes in order to use it. So, all right. Well, we're gonna raid Tim. If I could hit the right buttons, we'll raid Tim. All right, y'all. Well, till next time. Yeah. Project's going really well, Daniel. Thank you for asking. But it's the end of the stream, so till next time, y'all. Bye bye.